In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
It got up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Whoa! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Let's get started again.
K98Talk.com, a leader in Internet radio. So grab your seatbelts and take the ride of your life on K98Talk.com.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everybody. I am your host, Daniel Stafford, and yes, you are listening to the Stafford Voice, where we are conservative in a world of liberal. And tonight, wow, we've got a packed show tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the Iran deal or no deal. You know, I can't keep up with anything and everything that's coming out with it. Also, a little later, I want to talk about some chick named Ashley Madison. Hey, everyone in the chat room. Hey, Paul. Hey, Tina. Kelly, glad you're there. Angie, love you guys. So this chick, Ashley Madison, we're going to try and figure out a little bit about her or what's going on with her. She was all over the news today. Also, a little later tonight, I want to talk about, gosh, I love food. So as I'm talking about some food tonight, I may or may not have a snack while eating. No, it's not pizza, but we're going to talk about pizza. Because who doesn't like talking about pizza anyway? Also, something really, really cool happened on this day in history. When we get to that, it's kind of a big geek moment for me. I don't know why. Anyway, I had a geek moment a couple of months ago when we sent that stupid little washer and dryer set to way out there and landed it on some little rock, and we took pictures of it, and holy cow, that was amazing. Also, yes, if you're, every now and then bring the animals into the studio. You just heard my cat, so my cat is running around my feet right now. I know some of our listeners don't like cats. Sorry, Angie. I love my cat. And then also to wrap it up, yes, somebody out there is completely stuck on stupid. So you're going to have to tune in a little later for that. But before we get going with all of that stuff, yes, I want you to know that there are so many different ways to listen. Wherever you're at, just set that channel as a favorite, whatever you have to do so you don't get left behind. And if for some strange, crazy reason you do miss the show, well, we're going to send a brigade of prior enlisted... Okay, no, we're not going to send some prior enlisted soldiers to hunt you. Oh, maybe we will. Waterboard you that way. Yeah, you can listen to me on repeat over and over and over and over and over again. Sorry, I got stuck there. Anyway, yeah, you can catch the replay, so just sit tight. There's no need to panic because, yes, we've got you. Also, if you aren't already following on social media, well, shame on you. You can find me over on the Twitters at Stafford Voice while you're on the Twitters. And after you have already made sure that you follow me over there at Stafford Voice, please make sure you have downloaded the Periscope app on your smart device. Whether it's on your phone, it's Apple or Android friendly. You can download it on your smart device, iPads, iPods, or whatever those things over in the Apple world are called. Or your Android device. Again, download the Periscope app. Follow me over there. It's linked completely with Twitter. And earlier tonight, like an idiot, I got so excited about talking about some of this stuff tonight that I forgot to hit the tweet button on the Periscope. So it's out there. You'll just have to do a bunch of digging. I still can't figure out the stupid thing. But join me over there. You can get some pre-show show. You can check out the ugly mug. Yeah, I've got a face for radio. Anyway, since you're out there in the interwebs, you can find me on the Facebooks as well. All you got to do is search for the Stafford Voice, and we'll be there. While you're out there, make sure you follow the station, follow the Politainment group as well, and everybody else that's connected on the station. You can stay up to date with so many things out there if you would just head on over to thestaffordvoice.com or politainment.net. Look, I could tell you so many incredible resources, but the number one place to do it is set this station as your favorite. Every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, we're going to give you the rundown. Okay. So, let's just jump right into some things. This whole Iran deal, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Because it's like 1 second it's the greatest thing known to man. The next thing, it is absolutely ridiculous. And 5 minutes later, the Iranians are running up and down the street shouting death to America. And death to Israel, let's wipe them off the face of the earth. What is all this stuff about? I don't know. But I do know that, if you are not afraid to look back through history and do a little bit of digging yourself, you will notice that, yes, this stuff goes a little deeper than some stupid little nuclear deal that the Iranians are working towards getting. Look, these guys are extremely butthurt because we've handed it to them the last couple of months with all these harsh sanctions that we've put on them. I'm not going to lie. They're hurting. And even the Iranian people are starting to catch on. But they are still so hardcore with sticking to their country, which is okay. I don't have a problem with that. But again, this goes back so far, way, way back. You know, you're going to have to get out the old good book and try and figure out why some of these people hate each other and why some of these other groups love each other. So you've got the Israelites, who obviously are occupying Israel. That's a no-brainer. You've got Saudi Arabia, who has been in the region since, yes, the beginning of times. You also have Iran. Iran is, we've gone over this, but it's kind of important to the setting of what we're talking about tonight. Iranians are Shiites. Shiite Islam. Islamic Shiites, whatever you want to call them. Then you've got Saudi, which is predominantly Sunni. Well, obviously, Israel is the home of the Jews. And, well, over the weekend, something came across that really, really caught my eye. And it was news that Saudi Arabia is teaming up with Israel over this Iran deal. And I got to thinking, why? Well, because the Sunnis and the Shiites don't get along. We all know that. Why didn't I put two and two together at that moment? I don't know. However, so the Sunnis and the Shiites not big fans of each other. Saudi Arabia is teaming up with Israel because Israel, we all know that this deal is bad for Israel. Iran wants to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. Number 2 target is America. I don't know why they're so damn butthurt. Who cares? But so Saudi has reaped the benefits of all of these sanctions on Iran. Iran is hurting like crazy financially, and Saudi Arabia is bringing it in hand over fist. Why? Well, Saudi is making all this money on their oil exports, and Iran is stuck. They can't do anything. They couldn't do anything. They don't so they lost their main source of revenue. Saudi is over here collecting it hand over fist, and Israel is just basically sitting over there saying, this is a bad deal. This is a bad deal. Hey, this is a bad deal. So, when you try and figure out why it's a bad deal, I mean, yeah, we all know that it's a bad deal. Because it gives Iran, we have been put in a position where we have given the upper hand to Iran. And it didn't matter how this went. It didn't matter whether the U.S. brought forth a deal and it was done, it's over with, or we just walked away. We were either going to look like we were going to look like the bad guys. And Iran was going to be, they were able to sit down with the big American machine and hash out a deal and look at the Americans. The Americans are so bad. Well, to really get an idea of what's going on, you go to the enemy's side and you see what they're saying. What are they saying? So, the Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, no, I wasn't clearing my throat. That's just how I try and say his name. It's Khamenei. So he said, if the Islamic Ummah, get this. He thinks he's got this conspiracy idea that America is wanting to take over the Middle East region. Okay, so he says, quote, if the Islamic Ummah were united and relied on their own commonalities, they would certainly be a unique power in the international political scene, but big powers, meaning the United States, have imposed such divisions on the Islamic Ummah. Now, we've talked about the Islamic Ummah before, where it's basically them all coming together and working towards a common cause. So he's how the big powers have imposed such divisions on the Islamic Ummah to pursue their own interests and safeguard the Zionist regime of Israel. Now, this was pretty much... Obviously, we've got to turn the flare on at the end of Ramadan, and we've got to inspire our people. Okay, so at the end of Ramadan, we're commemorating it, and we're trying to inspire our people and say that America is the big bullies, and they won't let us unite, and they won't let us do what we want. So he goes on to say that in this report that I read, they said that the Iranian dictator claimed that Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State terror group were created by the United States, and this was according to Iran's state-controlled media, so you take it for what you wish. But he said that the U.S., quote, have created Al-Qaeda and Daesh, which we've talked about that before. It's ISIL or ISIS, whatever, doesn't matter. They don't like it, and support the wicked Zionists. Kind of conspiratorial-ish, I guess, if you wanted to put it that way. I mean, why would the U.S. create a terror group that was out with the sole purpose of wanting to take over the Middle East, create the caliphate, and wipe off Israel and come after America? That guy's stuck on stupid. Anyway, another guy that's stuck on stupid is the as they were. So they're going now. They've got to sell this deal to everybody, and so they went to the UN. And the Iranian United Nations ambassador, Gholamali Khosrow, he says, quote, the country that invaded two countries in our region and created favorable grounds for the growth of terrorism and extremism, I don't disagree with that, is not well placed to raise such accusations against his country. Well, but your leadership, the Ayatollah Hummus or Khamenei or whatever, is a really bad man. Really bad. I mean, here in the United States, at least if you're gay, we let you be gay. We don't take you to a hospital and cut off your man parts and call you a lady now. That's, we do that voluntarily over here. People do that for the fun of it. So we're out there, which I don't understand. I do kind of understand, but that's the politics of it all, right? Is America has to sell this whole idea that this is a great deal. So we go to the UN. Why are we presenting this to the UN before Congress has had their 60 days to review the deal, to whether they vote for it or against it? I don't know. Then again, figure out what the quote-unquote enemy is saying. Secretary of State John Horseface Kerry told ABC's This Week, he said, quote, they have a right to vote on the deal honestly. It's presumptuous he uses big words, long ones that match his face. Anyway, it's presumptuous of some people to suspect that France, Russia, China, Germany, Britain ought to do what the Congress tells them to do. Okay, so now he's already set the stage. Kerry has already set the stage that if we left it up to Congress, Congress is going to pass it, and now Congress is going to force them to go out and push it and tell all these other countries what to do. Again, now America is the big bully again. So he says that they have a right to have a vote, but we prevailed on them to delay the implementation of that vote out of respect for our Congress so we wouldn't be jamming them. So it's okay to go all over the world and pitch the next as seen on TV deal to the world before the country that actually, quote unquote, shaped this deal, this monumental deal, right? Before the Americans have any say-so on it at all. I don't know about you, but it's really kind of confusing. Okay, well, you know what? We're going to take a short little break, and when we come back, I want to talk about this chick named Ashley Madison. She's been all over the news today. I don't know what's so special about her, but when we come back from break, we're going to talk about Ashley Madison and why she's so special. We'll be right back.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
The feeling most people get when they hear Barack Obama's speech, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I mean, I don't have that too often.
Steady.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. Ricky Robinson, host of America Off the Rails, will tackle the important issues facing America today as he tries to keep America from coming off the track. Get ready to hear the truth every Monday through Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, and on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern and 11 Central here on K98Talk.com and the Spark Radio Network.
Welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy.
Red Nation Rising brings you Town Hall Radio.
From a single tweet to 3 million a month, our community is a force to be reckoned with on social media.
So don't miss our show, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on K98 Talk.
Our chat room is our co-host, and you ask the question.
Join us and be heard.
So get ready to sound off on Red Nation Rising Radio. No one else is going to do it for you.
There's a wild, wild whisper blowing in the wind, calling out my name like a long...
As a distinguished gentleman, I need a serious source of news. One that doesn't waste my time when I'm enjoying my tea and crumpets.
White powdered! White powdered!
One that catches the most important stories of the day.
The poop plane.
Was it jet poop? Real serious nonsense. Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, now on K98 Talk.
I'm gonna just move in another direction towards the classy.
We'll be classy and not say dildo.
They're completely different from
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve. As they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding, or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at FindWWP.
Call now. 913-440-4889.
All right, we are back. Okay, so this chick, Ashley Madison. I mean, sounds like an innocent enough name, right? Wrong. Okay, so Ashley Madison, I thought it was just some chick that actually was out, pimping herself. And I thought maybe it was Tiger Woods' chick, or maybe a leftover from Bill Clinton that, had some beans to spill. But it's not. Ashley Madison isn't a chick at all. Okay, well, maybe she is, but I don't know. I couldn't have been more wrong. Ashley Madison is a website, ashleymadison.com. It is an online cheating site. Their slogan is beyond appalling. Here's their slogan. Life is short, have an affair. If that's not bad enough, 37 million users. Let me repeat that. 37 million users. Okay? 37 million users of this site had their info hacked or stolen. Oh my God, this... Okay, Snackton, I gotta pause real quick. We're gonna come back to Ashley Madison. Wow. I gotta figure out a way to talk and take a picture of this dessert because this is insane. Anyway, okay, so back to Ashley Madison. Wow, it's like a homemade key lime pie. Looks, oh my gosh. It's no wonder oh, sorry, it's a key lime cheesecake, so it's even better. Oh, wow. Anyway, so back to Ashley Madison. 37 million users. Thanks for that stat, Trigger. If you're in the chat room, hopefully you are, k98talk.com/chat-room. Slickery Trigger, if you're not following him on the Twitters, you should. I absolutely love him. So, he says... 11% of the population of the United States. Yes, 37% of the population, 37 million users is on this site where it's okay to cheat. Remember, life is short, have an affair. So, news broke early this morning. Oh, sorry, 37 million is 11%. Okay, right, got it. Okay, so, according to KrebsOnSecurity.com, never heard of this site, but I'm going to keep my eyes on them, because, I mean, if they're out there finding stuff like this, I got to keep my eyes open. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here, and I'm not doing very good at it. So, sorry, multitasking is not my... Goodness gracious. Okay. So according to KrebsOnSecurity.com, they said, this was, okay, so after the info was hacked or stolen, they said in a long manifesto posted alongside the stolen ALM data, the impact team, which is the team that they call, that they say is who hacked the site and got their information. They said that it decided to publish the information in response to alleged lies that ALM is the parent company to Ashley Madison. They told its customers about a service that allows members to completely erase their profile information for a $19 fee. So, $19? You can wash your hands clean of your cheating affair, because life is short, right? I hate this kind of crap. Well, according to the hackers, although the quote-unquote full delete feature that Ashley Madison advertises promises removal of site usage history and personally identifiable information from the site, users' purchase details, including real name and address, aren't actually scrubbed. Oh my gosh, you mean stuff on the internet stays on the internet? So, again, the quote-unquote full delete netted ALM $1.7 million in revenue in 2014. It's also a complete lie. Now, that was said by the Impact team. They, again, quote, users almost always pay with credit card. Their purchase details are not removed as promised, and include real names and addresses, which of course the most important information the users want removed. So, are there really 37? Okay, that's a dumb question, because how many people voted for Obama the second time? So yeah, 37 million people out there think it's okay to cheat, have an affair on their spouse. Look, here's the thing. The truth behind a lie will always come to the surface. Look, I'm not going to lie. I suck. Okay? I suck on social media. You guys know that. I'm not the greatest. It's not a lie. It surfaces every day. But this Ashley Madison hacking incident is exactly what is wrong with these days. This is the Democrat way. The liberal way, if you will. You know, if it feels good, just do it. You know, these sort of things aid the deterioration of society. Why somebody is willing to go out there and prey on people who want to cheat on their spouse, and instead of offering them a solution to the real problem, figuring out what the real problem is. It's not the fact that your wife doesn't fold your underwear right. It's not the fact that your husband doesn't always put the gas cap on when he's done filling up with gas. That's not reason enough to go out and cheat and have an affair. Obviously, at some point, there was something really special. That's why you got married to begin with. Oh, gosh. Paul cheated because she ate the last Dorito. No, you didn't. You're a great guy. So, sorry, Slick. Look, whoever it is that was behind starting this stupid company should have been called out 36.9 million people ago. This is so stupid. I don't even know. Obviously, we know why it became a story. We know why. Because it's absolutely disgusting. But if we're not paying attention and we know about these things that are out there, and kudos to the group. Kudos to the Impact team, or whoever they are, for hacking this site. Maybe. It takes a little bit of bad to do a lot of bit of good in the world. Unfortunately, 37 million people are getting ready to, have their information thrown out there so their spouse knows that they've been cheating on them whether it's an online cheat or in-person affair. Who cares? You should be called out on it. Shame on you. Obviously, you need to go get some help. And speaking of help, I need both hands to pick up this enormous slice of key lime cheesecake. Looks absolutely incredible. So, why don't we take another quick break? And when we come back, let's talk about pizza. Who doesn't like pizza, right? When we come back, we'll talk about pizza. Be right back.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level, or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
Hey everybody, this is Jason, host of According to Me. I'd like to invite you to check out my show. It's a 2-hour show that lasts 60 minutes in...
Listen, I hate to interrupt, but one thing I can do is read off a script. Just say, let me be clear a lot. It works.
President Obama, I can handle this. It's a radio promo. I'm not green. I've done this before.
Did someone say green?
Now, Al Gore is here. Listen, I'm just trying to record a radio promo. Do you mind?
Now, do you say good things about me on the show?
No, not at all. But if it makes you feel any better, I rip on Republicans just as much.
The AM radio frequencies give off very high levels of radiation.
Look, my show is on the internet, which you invented. Can I just do my promo?
I got a pen. I can veto that,
I know you got a pen. It's not a law. It's a radio promo. Listen, just listen to my show. Barack Obama and Al Gore hate it, so you're going to love it.
Here's an executive order. Don't listen to his show. He doesn't like me. He's racist. And he doesn't recycle either.
That's it. I'm done. It's According to Me, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on the 405.
Conservative in a world of liberal.
The Stafford Voice.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Yes, I am your host, Daniel Stafford, and you are tuned in to the Stafford Voice. I just happen to be indulging on an incredible slice of key lime cheesecake. Homemade, wow. Oh my gosh. You're going to have to go check out, head over to my Instagram, or if you're following me on Twitter, you're going to see a picture of it here shortly. Wow, it's incredible. What else is incredible that's going on? Last week, I talked to you about a book that I was super, super excited to get my hands on. Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. And you guys know that I love to read. This was one of those books. I've got one in queue on with Audible. Speaking of Audible, before I talk to you a little bit about Go Set a Watchman, look, Audible.com, I can't say enough good things about it. It's amazing. If you're like me and you're always on the go, you can't really read a book while you're driving. You can't read a book while you're cutting the grass or... Okay, so you can read a book while you're going to the bathroom, but wouldn't you just rather throw in some earphones, hit the button on Audible.com, and just listen to it? Well, check this out. You can stay caught up on all of the great books that are out there, but you really don't have time to. And again, if you're like me, and you love to read, but you don't have the time, you need a subscription to Audible.com. As a listener to the Politainment Group, here's what I want to throw you. You're going to get a free 30 days, no strings attached trial to Audible.com. You're going to get the opportunity to download a free book. And since Audible.com is part of Amazon, that's right, it's part of Amazon, you're going to be able to you're going to have access to hundreds and thousands of all the newest books, all the newest releases, even Go Set a Watchman. If you have to, go out, download To Kill a Mockingbird, kind of relive your childhood, if you will. And then the next one you need to download is Go Set a Watchman. So how do you take advantage of this? Head over to audibletrial.com/polititainment. You will, it'll automatically get you set up. You're going to get your free audiobook. Again, all you got to do, head over to audibletrial.com/polititainment. Now, there are, yes, some books that you just have to have in front of you because it gives that nostalgic feeling. It kind of takes me back to when I was a kid. You know, the first time I read To Kill a Mockingbird, I didn't read it. My mom read it to me. It's okay. I don't care. It was one of my mom's favorite books, and I had a lot of respect for her, still do. God rest her soul. If she was alive today, she probably would have had this book read in about 3 hours. I'm not that fast of a reader, but I'm about halfway through, and it is incredible. No spoiler alerts. You've got to go out and get the book. It's going to give you a more in-depth idea as to who Scout from To Kill a Mockingbird is. So you need to. I mean, absolutely great book so far. Really impressed with it. But you know what else is impressing? Pizza. Mamma mia, pizzeria. Oh, sorry, I just got cheesecake all over me. Anyway, so who doesn't like pizza, right? I mean, okay, don't lie. Look, the magical combination of bread and cheese and sauce and toppings and bacon and pepperoni and sausage and bacon and cheese. Sorry about that. But did you know there's an actual organization that verifies quote-unquote true Neapolitan pizza around the world? Did you know that nobody really knows how the word originated? I mean, there's theories out there, there's ideas, but they really don't know. Did you know that what we consider the crust of the pizza, the outer edge, it's really not the crust. The outer edge is called the cornicione. Wow. Cornicione? Cornicione. Yeah, Italian or something like that. Anyway, cornicione. That's what it's called. It means the cornice or the molding. You can't call it the crust. Why? Because, well, that's the name of the base that you put all those incredible toppings on. Like bacon and bacon and bacon and... Well, you gotta okay, so you gotta have room for sauce and cheese, right? So, now we gotta give a shout out to our World War II veterans, because thanks to them, thanks to those guys out there who were stationed in Italy, they pretty much discovered it over there, absolutely fell in love with it, and we all know why. And, well, they brought it back. Okay, they had an idea of what pizza was. They come back home, and thank you to our veterans. Thanks once again to our veterans. Okay. So when you see a World War II veteran out there, thank him for helping bring pizza to the masses here in the United States. And speaking of massive pizzas, did you know that the world's largest pizza was nearly 123 feet across? It was made back in December of 1990 in South Africa, of all places. Get this. 1,100 pounds of flour were required to make the dough. It took 1,800 1,800 pounds of cheese, ladies and gentlemen. Holy cow. If that wasn't enough, it took an insane amount of sauce. I like to call it souse. Souse it up for me. 2,000 pounds of sauce. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We need to start a GoFundMe page for everyone at the station so we can fly over, have these people figure out how to make one of these pizzas 125 feet across. Okay? We'll call it the station pie. We're going to need 1,500 pounds of flour, so tap into your food storage. 1,500 pounds of flour, 2,200 pounds of cheese, roughly, 2,600 pounds of sauce. Bring some toppings too. Cash in your food stamps, Paul. I don't care. Do what you got to do. We got to figure out how to make an even larger pizza. We'll all get together. We'll have a big, massive pizza eating fest. And no, we are not going to put Doritos on a pizza, Paul. We are not, I repeat, not putting Doritos on a pizza. As much as I enjoy Doritos like the next guy, we're not putting Doritos on a pizza. And what we've got to do is we've got to figure out how to do this. We've got to figure out how to do this by October. We've got 2 months and 2 weeks to figure it out, right? Yeah, 2 months and 2 weeks to figure it out, because National Pizza Month is the month of October. There you go. Right there. Saving starving African children one slice of pizza at a time. Who the hell cares how you cook a 125-foot pizza? Who cares? It's a massive, massive flame. Oh. Massive flame. I mean, oh. Well, okay, so yeah, if you're over in the chat room, k98talk.com/chat-room, there's plenty of people throwing up ideas on how we can cook a 125-foot pizza. A big magnifying glass was one, a blowtorch. I don't know. Maybe we should just slice up the raw pizza. That's a great idea. C4. I never thought about that. That's what we could do. Oh, no, wait. Here's a good idea. We can take a lot of det cord. We'll steal it from ISIS, because so they're not over there blowing people's heads off with det cord. What we'll do is we will put this little spiraled picture, or this little spiraled thing of det cord, and then we'll probably have to put just a thin layer of sand over top, because we don't want to blow the pizza up. We need that heat from the det cord. That's what we'll do right there. We just figured it out. We just cured the idea of how to cook a 125-foot pizza. Okay. As cool as pizza is, look, I'm getting ready to get my geek on, ladies and gentlemen. Here's my geek on, because on this day in history, look, I can't even talk and eat at the same time. I'm super excited about this. On this day in history, 1969, it was, wow, I don't know, why didn't I think of that earlier? It was the summer of 69. That would have been great. Cue the music. 1969, on this day in history, Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. Okay? Let's throw a little bit of the history out behind it. At 9:32, all of these times I'm getting ready to give to you are Eastern time. I wasn't even born yet, but super cool anyway. 9:32 in the morning on July 16th, Apollo 11 took off from Kennedy Space Center with Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin, as we all call him, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. They traveled 240,000 miles. They covered it in, get this, 76 hours. Apollo 11 entered into lunar orbit of the moon on July 19th. The next day at approximately 1:46 p.m., the lunar module Eagle, manned by Armstrong and Aldrin, they separated from the command module. Michael Collins, astronaut Collins, stayed behind. Armstrong and Aldrin separated. At 4:18, the lunar module touched down on the southwestern edge of the Sea of Tranquility. Armstrong immediately radioed to Mission Control in Houston, Texas, that famous message, quote, "The Eagle has landed." At approximately 10:39 p.m., 5 hours ahead of original schedule, Armstrong opened the hatch of the lunar module, made his way down the lunar module's ladder, carrying a TV camera that was attached to the craft, and it recorded the progress and it beamed the signal back to Earth. Hundreds of millions of people were glued to the television. At 10:56 p.m., Armstrong spoke his famous quote, and he said this:
"It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind."
Buzz Aldrin joined him on the moon's surface at 11:11 p.m. that evening. They took photographs, they planted a U.S. flag, they ran a few simple scientific tests. They even spoke with President Nixon through Houston. Ladies and gentlemen, that was in 1969. We have done it a few times since. Sorry to have gotten my geek on with that, but that kind of stuff is really cool. That is what defines America. When we look at something completely on paper, sounds and looks completely preposterous, like it can never be done, we do it anyway. That's one of the things that makes America great. It took one person. It took President Kennedy to issue a challenge that said, we're going to the moon. We're going to do it before Russia, even though Russia had already been working on it. We're going to do it before Russia, and we're going to put the flag up there. And it's these things that we have to we have to hold on to these things. We have to hold on. We have to hold on to the things that have made America great, the things that have separated us from other countries. We have to hold on to those things. We cannot let them go. We can't let Democrats, liberals, there are even Republicans out there. I'm not going to name names, but some of them float on the coattails of their military career, who do not have a great record as far as it goes to being an elected official. But we have to hold on to these things. We can't just wad them up like a piece of paper and throw them away. These things make America great. It separates us from other nations. And if we lose that spark, we're in trouble. We'll be in big trouble. I honestly think that we are on the brink of something good. We are faced with a choice of good or evil. We can either continue to go down the road that someone that a handful of people are paving right now, or we can choose the other direction. We can choose the other fork in the road and continue to take this country in a direction where no man has ever gone before. Now, let's transition into, let's lighten the mood a little bit. Sorry, I got a little, I took my cool geeky moment and turned that into something. Yeah, I did. I threw out some Captain Kirk. Oh, shame on me again. And you know, I'm not even a Star Wars guy, or not Star Wars. This Captain Kirk's Star Trek. See, I'm not even a Trekkie. I'm not. I like Star Wars. I like a couple of the characters. Luke, I am your father. Yeah, I grew up with that stuff. I mean, it was really kind of cool. I'm not a Trekkie, but I'm a Warsy. No. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to be one of those guys that has to wind up being their own segment. Because yes, as a matter of fact, it is that time. It is time for another episode of Who Said That? And this week, this guy is completely stuck on stupid. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. I wouldn't be able to pick the guy's voice out of a lineup. But look, a little history behind the segment of Who Said That if you're new to the show. Who Said That is a little segment where we like to have fun. We like to close the show with Who Said That, where somebody out there is so completely stuck on stupid, so completely dumb, and it doesn't matter whether you are Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, libertarian. Some people out there call them libservatives or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're saying something completely stupid, we're going to call you out on it. And this week, oh my God. You just have to hear it. Check it out.
2016 race, of course, is in full swing, and thanks to Donald Trump, it does seem like a lot of people want to talk about one topic right now, and that's immigration. In fact, it's one thing that Donald Trump is right about. Without him, we wouldn't be talking about it as much. But before we get to our substantive immigration debate, we want to separate some of the facts from fiction that you've been hearing from him. It turns out there is no evidence to back up Trump's now famous claim that immigrants are rapists and bringing crime in the United States. In fact, we couldn't find a single study that links violent crime and immigration. Moreover, we actually did find one study that says...
Okay. Oh my... Oh, sorry, I almost spit out this incredible cheesecake. Yeah, I'm still whittling away at my cheesecake. Key lime cheesecake, homemade. It's incredible. Go check out the pictures, retweet it, go like it on Instagram. Anyway, none other than NBC's Meet the Press, Chuck Todd. Chuck Stuck on Stupid Todd. I can't even come up with a funny name for this guy, because I would offend somebody, and, well, anyway. Sorry. Slickery Trigger is over in the chat room, and you'd be surprised. I can almost lick my own elbow. Anyway, so, Chuck Todd, you complete moron. I want to ask you, well, what about Dominican Republic nationals Wilton Lara Carmona and Jose M. Lara Mejia, who were arrested on drug charges by police investigating the shooting death of a 41-year-old named Mirta Rivera on July 4th. Check this out. ICE records show that Lara Carmona, who's 38 years old, was deported in April 2012 and arrested for re-entering the country last November. The other guy, Lara Mejia, 35 years old, was nabbed crossing the border in August 2013 and ordered deported in April of 2014, but remained in the country illegally. And now arrested on drug charges and being investigated for a shooting death of 41-year-old Mirta Rivera. And how can we forget, just a week to 2 weeks ago, Juan Francisco Lopez Sanchez, the 45-year-old illegal alien who confessed to fatally shooting 32-year-old Catherine Steinle in San Francisco. Now, according to the Daily Caller, Sanchez used more than 30 aliases throughout his life of crime dating all the way back to 1993 after allegedly entering illegally the first time around May of 1991. He has been deported, 5 times? And he has already confessed to killing Miss Steinle. It looks like Chuck Todd is stuck on stupid and forgot to do his homework before opening his mouth. Then again, he leans left and identifies as a journalist or a pundit or whatever. Stuck on stupid. That's what he really is. Holy moly, we are out of time for this week. And luckily, I've still got some pie to finish, I keep wanting to call this stuff pie. I've still got cheesecake to finish the night out. Look, that is unfortunately all the time we have here for this week, and God willing, the Stafford Voice will be back next week. You can follow me on the Twitters over at Stafford Voice, or you can look me up on Facebook by looking for the Stafford Voice. If you have questions, comments, concerns, hate mail, email those to me to thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. Again, that is thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. Look, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank you so much for your time of listening. And until next week, thank you and God bless.
The leader in talk radio on the internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.